these are tent cards. I'd like you to take them, put your name on them. And then also what I'd like you to do is put your group letter on there as well. Because in a minute or in a few minutes, you're going to walk around, find each other, find your group members, and you're going to do exercise together. Oops, sorry. I have to give you something to write with. How silly it is. These will be your groups. I just randomly run the groups through, so there's no rhyme or reason to how I do it. It's purely random. I'm handing out the efficiency template. This will be also your study guide on how to do the calculations. So use it, keep it. It's very, very handy.
Whatever group it says. Big.
Yeah. How big do you want us to write that information?
As big as you want it to be.
Okay.
Okay. No. As big enough so that you can see it across the room. Because it'll last one class, so. And go ahead and do that, and I will just do some discussion while all of that is going on. Sorry. Getting in the way. I'm going to blank it out again, and thank you.
Gosh, I can't see either.
We all got
Like,
that.
yeah, you've got group.
Can everybody see that? Okay. So what you've got, that second thing that I handed out is what's known as an efficiency template. All right. The efficiency template is a key device that is used to be able to do some very important things. All right. So what's the idea of an efficiency template? You know what? I'm gonna go get some chalk. I'm tired of working with that. Be right back. What?
Oh, oh, that is a. Oh, my bad. There's like here that I've done. Yeah, having a home. Sorry. No, you're just fine. I was gonna grab them. Yes. Well. Aren't we? Yes. Because you said E and I was like, E. Yeah, I don't remember this in the chart. Here, would you like to? Sure.
That's all right. Okay, so the efficiency template, the basic idea is to be able to account for the cost of each item per channel member and be able to also take into account the value that those channel members add. All right. So what is the efficiency template does? It tells you the type and the amount of work done by each channel member. It does even one thing more. It defines an importance that each channel member does, and then gives us a true understanding of the value that that channel member brings. And then the last thing that it does is that it takes into account the share of total channel profits that each channel member should receive. That's key. Should receive. This is what's known as normative, all right? Normative means these are the way things should be. And what this does is it calculates what's known as, and this will be a test question, the normative profit share. And if you look on your sheets, when we look on the inside of it, you're going to see that concept there, the normative profit share, what each channel member should receive. And generally it is expressed in a percentage of total profits, like they should have 25% of the profit. Okay. We do this for many reasons. One of them is we want to make sure that our partners are treated fairly and equitably. We also want to be able to evaluate whether an individual partner is bringing enough value to the system as they should. And so these are the critical reasons why we do this. So what do we get out of it? Well, we get a greater ability to defend our allocation of profits. We're able to set a recommendation of where we need to go in the future. And we get a true vision of each channel member's contribution. So before I go on, let me do a little fishing here. Let's see. Okay, this is the one I want. Very good. All right. So without further ado, I'd like you to turn to the handout that you have and let me set up this. And we can start working on it. Okay. The first thing that I have to say once again, and I will say it over and over again, two important, yes, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. In the back, please.
Oh, no, don't.
Two concepts that we've been talking about. First is that marketing flows and channels. That's the basic thing that you get out of this particular class. But the next is, and it's important once again, is you have to say it over and over again, is that everything carries a cost. And that's what that next particular slide is about. All right, so let me make sure I've got everything set up. Oops, this is the answers. I don't want to give you the answers. So let me make sure, where should I go? Okay, this is the one I want to show you. Okay. So, excuse me. Increase the size on this one. Let's share this. I apologize. No, I don't want you there. I want this. Get out. Share this. Let's go on. Okay. All right, so this is a blank efficiency template. You will not get a blank efficiency template. I am just showing it to give you an idea of what it looks like. The first thing I want you to notice is that if you remember from chapter 2, when we talked about segmentation, remember how we talked about how everything should add up to 100 and that these are set up so that they measure the balance or basically the contribution of all things, okay? So a zero-sum scale basically means that you'll be able to calculate these numbers across and they'll always add up to 100. So first thing up, you look at physical possession, ownership, promotion. Those are all 9 of the channel functions. The cost that you will see are measured by percentages. You will never see a dollar number. The benefit potential, which you will not have to put in either, reflects research that has done that shows you the value that that particular item brings. So, if physical possession and ownership are high in the benefit potential, they're marked high. If ordering and payment is low, it'd be marked low. All of these calculations will be done for you once again, and I want you just to know that. Ultimately, what happens is that the weight is a combination of the cost and whether that benefit is high, medium, or low. So if physical possession is 20% of the cost and all of these come down to equal 100, then this is the percentage of cost. However, what the benefit does is it shows that it has a benefit greater than its cost. So what it means is that if this is a 20, this may go up to 25. However, if I increase 5 here, somewhere down the line in the constant sum scale, I have got to reduce one of these in order to give you an accurate number. So let me show it to you so you actually see what it looks like. Okay. This is one that's completely filled out. And so let me also say this. This is going to be very important to you. The title is going to be important. Okay? The title defines the channel member who this efficiency template is being calculated for. So let's read up at the top. The building materials company efficiency template for channel serving end users through retailers. So what does that say? The first column is the actual cost by percentage. Physical possession 30, ownership 12, promotion 10, negotiation 5, financing 25, risk 5, ordering 6, payment 7. This is the research that is done to determine whether or not they've been valuable or not. You don't have to know this, but there's stuff that's known as zero-based budgeting, ABC budgeting, which basically requires you to take every budget and go down to zero and justify the reason that you're buying it this year. You don't have to get into that. I just want you to be able to give you an idea of what this means behind the scenes. So if the benefit potential is high, it is not unlikely that you'll see the final weight be higher. This is medium, this is higher. However, promotion is low and it has to decrease. Once again, by the nature of a constant sum scale, if I increase this number by 5, somewhere down here it has to decrease. I'm telling you those, and I'm not going to have to expect for you to have to calculate that, but you know, you're adults, you can understand that. Okay. So here we have the channels themselves: manufacturer, retailer, end user. And why is the end user in the channels? Because someone please. Thank you. You made my day. I'm serious. I've been in classes where nobody said thank you. So anyway, the manufacturer does 30% of the performance in this channel environment when it comes to physical possession. The retailer does 30% and the end user does 40%. Now I want you to think, all right? I want you to think, now this is building materials, okay? So the manufacturer, let's just say it's a lumber manufacturer. Makes a lot of sense. And let's say they're selling to Lowe's Home Improvement Center. So physical possession, they've got lumber. And so lumber is a commodity. If you think about it in a way, it's like nails, screws, and those kind of things. You can find them pretty much anywhere. And so perhaps in terms of its performance and value, it's not as high as someone else. However, think if I am an end user and I've got to perform the channel functions of physical possession, which means I have to ship, I have to store. Those are things that take a lot out of me as an end user. Just think if I have to buy a substantial amount of lumber in order to be able to do what I have to do. And let me say I buy all the lumber for the next 2 months. It means I've got to store that lumber. I've got to find a safe place for it. And Lord help me if a disaster comes along. Well, that means that my performance is higher, believe it or not, than the retailer and the manufacturer. So I get that. So the next one is ownership. The manufacturer, once again, they have limited resources and amounts. Ownership is critical for the retailer because the retailer needs inventory to be able to sell. Of course, we know that inventory is a drag, but they have a higher performance. Promotion, it makes total sense. What promotion can I have for lumber other than, I've talked to Danielle with Paper Mill, and she would get very upset if I said, what's the big deal about owning lumber? Anyway, there is no promotion. I've just got to be able to sell my lumber. And in the retailer, promotion is everything. End user, not at all. And so if we keep going through this, down the line, we find that you can just cursory look that perhaps one member of the channel should receive more than the other. This is what the normative profit share means. What each channel member should get. All right. So how are you going to calculate it? This is what you're going to use. This is what you're going to do in your groups. All right. So you are going to calculate the normative profit share for each one of these groups. Let me make sure. I got the right one. Okay. So this is what you will do in your groups. You're going to take the final weight as a percentage and multiply it by the manufacturer's performance and come up with a final weight. Let's shrink this down. Let's see, bring it down. Okay, that's cool. So I want somebody on their calculator to multiply 0.35 times 0.3.
$0.105.
105. Okay, got it. All right. Let's do this one all together. Make it easy. Somebody multiply 0.15 times 0.3.
0.045.
0.045. Very good. Somebody give me 0.08 times 0.2.
0.016.
0.016. Very good. Very good. All right. So 0.04 times 0.2,
0.008.
right? .29 times 0.3. 0.087. Very good. 0.02 times 0.3.
0.006.
Correct. The next one is 0.3 times 0.2, same verse, vice versa, 0.006. What's the last one?
0.008 again.
0.008. All right. Somebody add all of those together. Shouldn't go on that. Oh, well. Too late. I'll adjust it in a minute. Add all of that together.
.281.
Got it. All right. So what does this say? What this says, you can put that, by the way, as 0.281. You can put that as 28.1% because these are percentages. It doesn't matter. Okay. Whatever way you represent it, it's fine. It says this, that based upon our calculations, based upon the value that the manufacturer brings in this channel environment, they should receive 28.1% of all profits. That's what it means. That is the normative profit share. Normative profit share. And so one of the things also I'm going to ask you is probably I'll say, does this make sense? And you can say yes, based upon the channel members' contribution. This makes sense. And it does. So 28% of the profits. You think about it, a manufacturer, it's a commodity. So it's not a very unique item. Most of what they do that's valued, it has to do with physical possession and financing. So yeah, it makes sense. Okay, it does. So the next thing I want you to do, I want you to get up, walk around, go find your group members, and I want you to fill out the remaining part of this. All right, get up.
Can you put this back on the board?
You bet I will. Go, I surely will. There's the groups.
Yeah.
I got one. Yeah.
Everything's falling. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll go down.
No, it's nice to meet you. Oh, no, I don't, I really.
Sorry. I'll stop it to you guys.
Are you group A?
Yeah.
Oh, what's your name?
Oh, so say hello to your group members, exchange email addresses. I will send this list out so that everybody will get a copy of this, okay?
Oh, no.
There's like 4 members of the golf team that aren't here, so. Group D, we're looking for Group D.
That was. He's not here today. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that 5-week time.
So is the other member of our group just?
Yeah, there's several members that aren't here today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so no, you're not, every group has at least 4 members too. So, you know,
I guess.
Yeah.
You want to just
Separate and then we can compare. Make sure.
Oh.
Yes. Of course. Oh, wait, would you like to here? You don't have to, you want to.
You guys, what you guys?
Okay, yeah, I just.
I got 39%. 32.7. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Also, I don't know what. There you go. Sometimes I want to do that.
Yeah, it's maybe. Yeah, I'll add it up to one, so I guess it's good.
We'll wrap it up in 5.
That's funny, it's limited.
I know I had to read that, because I know I did that 0.087, I don't know why my type just point.
Yeah.
The first thought was like, that's a really good.
Yeah. The math.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yes.
What did you do for that? Actually, that number. You can give us your.
Marketing.
Yeah, okay, okay, makes sense. Okay, what? Yeah, that's what I.
Electronic. I was a marketing major, but I didn't want to do marketing. Thought I could go ahead and use the credits that I had. So this is my last year.
I'm good at calculating that. It's like information.
Well, I mean, good thing.
You're okay, find it.
Also using my degree for sure. I want to, yeah, I possibly want to be like a video producer. Yeah, but, no, my girlfriend's a science. So yeah, she does all that smart stuff.
Yeah, actually, one of my friends in high school was from older, so it's really close. That's a really cool. area. I like to talk about regulation. That's a lot. So. Gabby?
No, yeah, I feel like, you know,
My dad, IT. So,
Yeah.
I would never.
Yes.
he never taught you.
No.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna give you my marketing is everything.
Well, it is. I plan on doing some sort of possibly video marketing for a studio, but I just wanted to expand my.
No, I get what you're saying. All through your life, you're going to be articulating your values.
Oh,
You'll be
absolutely.
articulating your value to your stockholders, to the members of the group. Just remember that only one person in any organization never. Jerry Jones is not a man. He built AT&T Stadium. And the people of Dallas did not have to spend one penny on building AT&T Stadium. $1.1 billion. They floated a bond issue in Arlington that paid for 300 million. He paid for another 300. It was $500 million in cost overruns, and he pulled the money out of his own pocket to pay for himself. Why did he do that? Because in the end, after they calculated out, there was no way that AT&T stayed. He sold it or it ever was built. They did the 30-year bond issue in Arlington that was from parking and from hotel revenues. Paid for the bond issue in 7 years. They earned so much money that they were able to build the Texas Rangers Stadium right next to it, $1.7 billion. Okay. How? Because Jerry Jones isn't a manager, he's a marketer. All right. And he sold Texas Stadium. All right. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but Jerry Jones is the man who created NFL properties. Before he came along, all of the teams in the NFL had separate contracts. He's the one that got the NFL together to go under a single banner. And so every player and every coach that has been in the NFL since 1992 on, 40% of their salaries, they owe to Jerry Jones coming up with that. So not bad for a country boy from Arkansas. Okay, let's go. Let's build this out. All right, somebody give me a number.
0.15.
105. Very good. Next one.
0.06.
0.060. Very good. Sorry. Next one.
0.064.
064. Next one. 0.024. Next one.
0.087.
087. Next one.
0.1.
0.1.
0.01.
Oh, I'm sorry. 010. All right. Very good. Next one. What was that?
0.018.
018. All right. And the next one, last one.
0.024.
024. And what does this come out to?
0.392.
0.392. All right. So we're going to do some little math Jedi tricks here. So we're going to take 0.281, 0.392. We're going to add them together, 7 up, 673. So if we take 1 and we subtract 0.673, if this is right, this last number should be 0.237, and that's how we do our checks. Okay. All right. So give me the top number. 0.14. Got it. Next one.
0.045.
0.045. All right. 0. Very good. Next one.
0.008.
008. Very good. Next.
0.116.
0.116. Next one.
0.004.
004. Next one.
0.006.
006. And the last one.
0.008.
0.008. And what's the final?
0.327.
327. Very good. We did all our calculations. All right, now that I made you go through all of this on a Thursday morning, what does it do? Okay, so remember what I said. Does it make sense? All right, once again, because this is the whole point of doing these math things. It's not to, to see whether you still remember fourth grade arithmetic. It's to come up with answers. So the retailer should have 39.2% of the profits. They should have. Does it make sense? Yeah, it does. The retailer takes on a substantial portion of all of the performance. And so naturally, yes, they should. Now, the end user, almost a third, is up to the end user. So if you're talking about the normative profit share, which of course means what each channel member should get, how does the end user get any money? All right, well, it comes down basically to this, is that compensation in one way or another, because they form a channel function, means there's some kind of generated discounts in what they do. Whether they are monetary or non-monetary, it just basically states and gives you an appreciation for the fact that they are a member and they do a substantial amount. All right. Now, we're looking at that as a retailer. Does anybody know what a contractor is, by the way? Oh my God, if you ever want to build something, you need to be, folks, if you're tired of school, and you want to go do something to make a six-figure income, be a contractor. Okay, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I mean, I have a friend of mine who's on his own, and yeah, I mean, what a contractor does is crazy. So you might see in the test that say contractor at the top instead of retailer. And so I'm just giving you all fair warning, and the numbers are going to be different. And the natural amount of work that a contractor would do would be naturally more than a retailer, because think about it, they do both sides of the equation. So these numbers may be substantially different. What will you not see in the test? You will not see this here. It is implied that you're going to understand that we have to calculate these two together, that you'll have to calculate these two together to ultimately come out with the numbers, okay? This is 20 points, all right? The calculation is worth 15 points. I'm going to ask you, does it make sense? And I've actually had some people that say, no, it doesn't make sense, but came good enough reasons that I gave them the 5 points, because I like to hear good arguments. But anyway, this is what you can definitely expect on the test. Make sure that you bring your calculators, okay? Do you understand? Yes.
Is it allowed to be a graphing calculator?
It can be any kind of calculator. Just don't use your cell phones, please. That's all I ask, okay? I might have a few calculators just in case. We're looking like the test will be next Thursday. So I want everybody to be queued up so that we can talk about these things. We'll talk about it in the end. We'll talk the last part of what auditing does about gaps, both cost gaps and service gaps. And basically, we're done. Any questions or anything else? All right. Go have a great weekend, folks. Take care. Take that stuff with you, okay? Use it to study. The recording will be online, so you can watch that too.
Do we need to keep these cards?
Yeah, keep the card.